Hey guys, so I think the best bee actually is the tabby bee because every time you get tabby love, it increases 1% of your pollen and it can stack 1,000 times. So that means you can get 1,000% more pollen. It's also, it has scratch and its gifted ability. If it's gifted, the tabby bee, if it's gifted, scratch will always do critical damage, which is really good. So that's why I think the tabby bee is the best, because it really helps you grind more honey and more pollen in Bee Swarm Simulator. The second best bee in the game, in my opinion, is the photon bee. As you can see on the screen, there's pictures of it gifted and it regular. The regular one has Beamstorm, and every level it gains one more beam. Basically, Beamstorm sends down beams from and it just collects all this pollen, and one more beam, and there's one beam for each level it is, and that's really good. If it's gifted, all that pollen is immediately converted to honey, which is a lot of honey. So you don't have to go, basically it won't take up space in your bag. It will immediately convert to honey, which is super helpful, because I always have a problem of being so close to getting a goal or completing a mission, but my bag fills up and I have to go all the way down and come back up to wherever I am, and that's annoying. So Photon Bee would be my second choice because of that ability. Tabby Bee still first. Let's move on to third. Okay, now I would say third place has a really close tie between Windy Bee, Bear Bee, and Vicious Bee. I know you might be thinking, Bear Bee, why Bear Bee? I think Bear Bee is really good because Bear Bee can literally help you get twice as much honey, more pollen, more speed, more jump power when you turn into a bear, which is really helpful. But Windy Bee probably wins it for right now because Windy Bee has a super cool tornado that activates and basically takes the entire field away if it's a really good level. So Windy Bee wins it because that's really good for grinding, like Photon Bee and Tabby. But that's why Windy Bee wins it. So let's move on to our fourth place. Okay, Bear Bee wins fourth place. Sorry, I forgot the place for a sec. Fourth place because I know you might be thinking, okay, no, I'm done. I'm on this is wrong. No, well, to me, no. I feel like Bear Bee sometimes. I feel like he's underrated, or she. It's really good. That's why it costs 800 Robux, the same as the Windy Bee. It doubles your pollen stats and your honey stats and all that stuff when you turn into a bear. And even though the bear is not permanent, it still stays for 30 seconds, which is longer than most boosts I get in Bee Swarm Simulator. Like I said, we'll be playing on this channel though. Yeah, and I really want, ever since Windy Bee's gone away, I've always wanted Bear Bee. Even during the Christmas special, I just really wanted Bear Bee. So that's why I count Bear Bee as fourth. Next, we're moving on to fifth. Let's go. Okay, so next on our list is Vicious Bee, which I wanted, but I don't know. I mean, the gifted ability is really good. 50% more damage is really good. But I would expect it to be the oh my god, the bee that has the most, the highest attack. But that's Lion Bee. Lion Bee's a legendary, and I have a gifted version of it. So but the gifted the gifted ability of this bee is really good. 50% more attack is really good. That's a lot more attack. And also it has spikes which are really helpful in defeating enemies. Like Photon Bee, it's 1 spike per level. So level 7 would already have 7 spikes, which is pretty good. So that's why Vicious Bee takes our number 5th spot. So move on to number 6 now. Also, you might see them not putting any more gifted versions of the bees next to them. I'm not going to do that. It takes a little more time, so I'm not going to do it. So, sorry. But let's move on to 6 now. Festive Bee is our sixth place in this list. Festive Bee is gifted ability is, let me check right now. But Festive Bee gives these gifts. And can do, okay, its gifted high bonus is an enhanced festive gift and 10% more red pollen, which is pretty helpful, especially the festive gift. And so it's pretty helpful, not as helpful as any of the ones on the list so far, but still pretty helpful. So that's why it is 6th. Now let's move on to 7th. Really, I don't know really where to put Gummy Bee actually. Gummy Bee is 7th. I put Gummy Bee 7th because well, Gummy Bee has a really cool ability where you get all this goo, and gumdrops are also helpful for buying all the gummy the goo. Oh my god, what am I saying? The gumdrop boots and the gumdrop helmet and stuff. But if you have the Gummy Bee, but you're not really good, it's probably going to take a long time to get those boots and mask and whatever. So it's not that good for beginners because it's going to take a long time for them to get the gummy masks and the gummy boots. But it is pretty good for people who can access that area. It's also good for beginners because they can get their gumdrops faster. But it's not like really special for beginners because they can't really buy the stuff yet. But so that's why it's 7th, but it's still a really good beat to have. And even I'm saving up for it. So now I guess we can move on to 8th. Okay guys, so 8th is Cobalt and Crimson. Cobalt and Crimson are like best together. They are, but I couldn't put them in separate numbers because if you have a bigger beehive, then a bigger blue beehive, then you can have Cobalt Bee, which will help you with your blue bees. But if you have a bigger red beehive, a Crimson Bee won't help you more than Cobalt because Crimson is red and is a red type bee. But both of them together is best, obviously. They have this really cool this power up, which collects, I think it does this, so if you get it, it collects, like say if you get it from Crimson, it collects all the abilities from your red bees. If you get it from Cobalt, it collects all the abilities from blue bees. If you have both of them, if you get either Crimson or Cobalt, one of those power-ups, it will collect both red and blue abilities. It won't just collect one side. Even if you get it from Cobalt, it'll collect red and blue. Crimson, red, and blue. So that's why they are 8th. And let's move on to our last, well, kind of least, but let's move on to our last bee. 9th now is Puppy Bee. Okay, I was actually thinking of putting Puppy Bee like 6th or something. But then its abilities aren't as good as others. 20% more treats is really good for someone who's like a beginner. But a pro would be like I have so many treats, I don't really need this. Like, that's its gifted ability, 20% more treats. And so, like, a lot of people don't really want Puppy Bee, so that's why I put it last. It's not the best event bee, but it is an event bee, so it has to be on the list. So it's ninth place, last place, because its gifted ability isn't the best, and it's not the best event bee. That's all I really had to say about Puppy Bee. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.